Twee protagonisten van de klassenproefstand. Kapiteins met de zege, de titel trouwens is voor het groot in de massa FX 5. Het podium in de klasse 2. De fotograaf doet zijn titel weg en de bekers voorbereid door de negatief van Circuit Zolder. Moet ik zelf even kijken naar de fotograaf? Even kijken naar de fotograaf daar. Ja, het is big smile. Dat is niet voor die op Circuit Zolder. En dan het tiende en laatste podium, klasse 1 in de race 2 van vandaag. Met op de derde plek aan het stuur van de Suzuki Swift Sport, Davy van Whelen. Dat is ook de nieuwe kampioen in de klasse 1 proefstand. Davy met de titel. Op de tweede plek.
When you come to Kvarner, treat yourself to an experience you will remember. Enjoy the luxurious ambience. Experience superior service. Indulge in endless pleasures. The pearl of the tourism offer in the pearl of the Adriatic. Liburnia, Hotels and Villas.
The final time in the 2023 season. The stars and cars of the EuroNASCAR Pro category are getting ready to roll. The NASCAR Whelen Euro Series in its finals weekend here at the Circuit Zolder. It's been dramatic so far, not just in terms of the racing, but also in terms of the weather radar. And as you can see, the rain has been falling in the last couple of hours. It was falling towards the end of the EuroNASCAR 2 race, of course, where Paul Dufresne secured his first championship in EuroNASCAR. But now, with heavy rainfall, this is more than likely going to be a completely wet race. It's not currently raining, as I understand it. However, it does look very soggy out there on circuit, and it is a championship battle that is mouth-watering coming into this EuroNASCAR Pro season finale. There are 3 drivers within 5 points at the top of the championship. Your championship leader, Lucas Lasserre, is also your pole sitter. Lucas Lasserre on pole and in the lead of the championship by just 1 point over Vittorio Gorelli of Team Bleekemolen. Gianmarco Ercoli just 5 points back. Anthony Kumpen still has an outside chance if things fall in his favour. Liam Hasemans has come ever closer to the overall points lead as well in 5th. If things go badly wrong for others, he could be a factor in at the title as well. Tobias Downhauer, 6th place, and just behind Liam Hasemans in Junior Trophy. Ulysse Delceau, Vladimir Osiortis, Martin Dubek and Sebastian Bleekemolen making your top 10 in the overall championship. Fabrizio Armetta is the Challenger Trophy points leader. He's got a 20-point advantage over Thomas Tuffel in the Challenger Trophy, so he should be able to secure the championship with a decent result today. In the case of Fabrizio Armetta, in general, though, this has been a spectacular season, and in this event, the double points EuroNASCAR finals, it is all the more important to secure a victory if you're fighting from behind in the championship scrap. It's 80 points for a race win here this weekend, 70 points for second place, and then it goes down in twos from there. So third for 68 for third, 66 for fourth, so on and so forth. What that does mean is that if either Lucas Lasser, Vittorio Gorelli, or Gianmarco Ercoli take this race victory, they are champion by default. They will have outscored either of the other two primary title contenders if any of the three of them take a win. For Lucas Lasser, a victory is very viable. He is, of course, on pole position. For Vittorio Gorelli, he's got a bit of work to do, but it is possible. He starts in 5th place alongside EuroNASCAR's newest champion, Paul Dufresne. However, for Gianmarco Ercoli, this is going to be a much more difficult proposition. Ercoli is set to start 17th in this race. He was dropping off the pace yesterday. The car was damaged after contact under safety car, but he blamed himself and solely himself. You may have seen his social media comments basically saying, look, I wasn't quick enough. And the net result of that is 17th on the grid. The grid for this race formed by the fastest laps from race 1 yesterday. And Lucas Lasser was quick. Unfortunately, Gianmarco Ercoli, 17th fastest. He has got a lot of work to do. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot! Andre and Liam Hazeman down there on the grid.
Yeah, we're just having a little bit of fun here right now. Liam Hazeman, you're really relaxed before the first race of the season. Last race of the season, damn.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, when you look at it, I mean, to be fair, this season, okay, it's the last race, but I don't really have any chances anymore to really go for the championship. Yeah, instead it happens, something really dramatic happens, but it's Zolder, it's the final, so you never know. But no, yeah, I'm just quite relaxed. I mean, you know, definitely yesterday we made a mistake in qualifying because we stayed on the wet tires and that didn't work out at all. So yeah, P18 yesterday, went up to P8. And yeah, so starting P2 today, so that's a lot of fun. We're gonna see how it goes, huh?
What about the junior trophy?
Yeah, the junior trophy, no worries. I will try to make it happen, for sure. I try to keep that for mine.
All right, one last time. All right, it's again me. I'm the
better in the race.
Back to you, Adam.
I reckon he's still quicker than you, though. Amazing stuff. Liam Hazeman and Andre Viegold having a bit of fun down there on the grid. They didn't know the camera was on them. That was great. Liam Hazeman's junior trophy leader, and he will start on the front row of the grid alongside Lucas Lasser. So he has a great opportunity here to end his season on a high. He has taken a win already this season. Vladimiros Siotzis is down with Andre.
Thank you so much, Adam. Vladimiros, you have one last race coming up, but we have to talk a little bit about the EuroNASCAR 2 title battle. You lost it against Paul Dufresne in the very last minute. How was it from your side there?
Well, I mean, with all the problems and after are things that were out of my control, really. What as a Vladimir I did what I could. Unfortunately, my legs cannot race up to 200 kilometers. So, but anyway, I mean, yesterday also we were losing power until today with the engine, a second-hand engine. It was all about these things, you know. I mean, could be a gap of 40 points before the finals, and we lost in just on back-to-back mechanical issues. As a Vladimir, I did all my best.
Still one race coming up, and still there's the junior trophy to hunt for, right?
Yeah, I am positive. I mean, yeah, I think everybody saw that this year it was my year in EuroNASCAR 2. But Okay, we are fast, we are there. I will keep pushing now. It's a new race. It's like a new day already, so all okay.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck. Back to you, Adam.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, actually. I know he'd had some mechanical issues at Most and at Oschersleben, and I did get the impression that it was more car than driver on Saturday in the EuroNASCAR 2 race, where his performance was very unfamiliar compared to the Vladimiros Siotsis we saw take 5 victories in the first part of the season. Unfortunate for him, Vittorio Garelli, though, with a very important win that he's aiming for today.
Yes, no joking around here. This is the championship battle. It's like a NASCAR playoff race because top 3, who wins is the champion. So how do you feel before this decisive race?
Yeah, it's been a good year. We were always fast, always there. We deserved a bit more points, but some situations, little mistakes, some things happened, but we lost a bit of points here and there. But we're here in the last race, -1, and for sure we'll go get it.
To be honest, I've never seen you really emotional, freaking out or being angry or something like this. Get us a insight of your emotions right now before a race like this. You know, everything's on the table, everything's on stake.
Yeah, exactly. We battle all year, you know, a lot of hours of meetings with the team for strategy and stuff. So I just have to thank my team that I'm here, my sponsors, you know, and hope to give a good show to the fans.
What I also observed is a lot of drivers go to the bed really early to be relaxed, but you are one of the drivers staying with the mechanics, work on the car, late hours, not so much sleep. So how is it to be with the mechanics and work on the car? You are always there.
Yeah, I give them my support, you know. They work so much for me, so I'm always there with them and hope to give them the title, you know.
All right, then good luck, have fun, and go back to you, Adam.
Excellent to hear from Vittorio Garelli. Always composed, always calculating. He's taken 2 wins so far this year. Everybody in the top 10 of the championship has 9 top 10s to their name here in the EuroNASCAR Pro title fight. The only 4 drivers that have been consistently in the top 10 to that extent. Only 4 drivers have 9 top 10s attributed to them. And rather unsurprisingly, they are the top 4 in the championship. Of course, we've talked at length about Leclerc, Garelli and Urkeli. And there is Lucas Leclerc.
The next, let's say, playoff driver, because it's you, Gianmarco or Vittorio winning the race, winning the championship. Everything's on the table. Tell me, how are you feeling before this final race?
The same as yesterday. No, I will stay focused just on my driving style and my technical driving, and to use 100% of the potential of the car. We have the forecast since the beginning of the weekend is a little bit changing, you know, with wet, dry, wet, middle. So we need just to stay focused on my strategy and hope that it will be the best choice. We'll see.
We have still some minutes coming up. At the moment, the asphalt is definitely wet, so you're on wet tires right now, right?
Yeah, for sure. It will be for all the car will start on the wet, for sure.
Right. Thank you so much. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Adam.
Yeah, it's a cold day here in Belgium as well. I don't think it's going to dry up. It's about 5 degrees cooler today than it was yesterday. So I think the track is going to stay damp, as Luca Leclerc alluded to there. I was just going to say, obviously, you've got those 3, as Andre's calling them, playoff drivers, the ones that would win the championship by winning the race. You've then got Anthony Kumpen as well, who's still very much in the hunt on 326 points, just 18 back. And of course, if anybody is going to perform the heist of the century at the Circuit Zolder, I mean, come on, it's Anthony Kumpen, right? He's the guy who really could claim this place as his own home. It is his home nation circuit. It's a circuit where he has registered thousands of laps in racing and testing. He's yet to take a win this season. If a win is going to come, well, it has to in this race, of course. It's the last race of the season. But if you were to bet on Kumpen winning anywhere, it would be here at the Circuit Zolder. He would have to win, and you'd have to have everybody else outside or fifth or lower for everybody, I think, if that was the case, if Kumpen did somehow take the win. Where is Kumpen on the starting grid? I'll have to refresh my memory on that. He is starting all the way down in 11th. So it is going to be a challenge for Anthony Kumpen, that much is for certain. But again, I feel like if anyone can perform magic tricks at this circuit, particularly in the wet, I would put my money on Anthony Kumpen. But it is going to be a arduous, mountainous task for him to complete. Luca Lasser, definitely the driver in the pound seat. Not only is he the championship leader, he's also the pole sitter. He has by far the strongest position. He is on the firmest ground in this championship fight. That much is for certain. Liam Hazelman's with nothing really to lose. If he can just win and hope for misfortunes, then maybe if the world really does turn upside down at some point over the course of the 18 laps, he could secure the championship. But he's well on his way as it stands to junior trophy glory. He just needs to get the car to the flag and make sure that the likes of Siortsis and Downhauer don't get any opportunities to take advantage. A few drivers there coming out onto the grid late. So maybe a few of them waiting to head out onto the track to try and figure out what tyres they want to go on, because of course that is a key factor. But I would think, much to the point of Luca Lasser, this is going to be a race where wet tyres are the name of the game. And in fact, you can see there some of them bringing the slicks back in. There's no point getting them. There's no point keeping them out there. Well, who have we got there? We've got Riccardo Romagnoli, I believe, in the 65. Tobias Downhauer in the hastily repaired promotion car, which ended up with a collapsed suspension in the EuroNASCAR 2 race earlier on in collision at turn 1. And then you've got the number 46 Marco Stipp Motorsport machine in the hands of Thomas Chrysonis. So these three cars heading out there late. I will say the sun is starting to shine on this circuit, isn't it? And while I do tend to agree with Lucas Lasser's assessment that absolutely no chance of anything other than wet tyres, it might start to get to that point where they're having to find the wet conditions towards the end of the race. I wouldn't be surprised if the sun continues to beat down on the circuit as it is on the back half of the track currently. Maybe there will be a drying line by the end that they'll have to try and avoid to preserve the wet rubber. Of course, wet tyre compounds are inherently soft, and therefore they can burn up very quickly. Between the lack of contact patch with the tread and the soft compound, they do burn very quickly as soon as it starts to dry out. Lasser, your pole sitter, will be hoping for a clean run here. Liam Hazelmans would so love to end his season on a high. For Vladimir Siortsis starting third, I think the same applies to him as well. He has no real stake in the overall championship. He has an outside shot at the junior trophy. For him, I think it's a matter of, you know what, I want to have fun. I want to right the wrongs of the last couple of weekends in EuroNASCAR 2. Tobias Downhauer and Promotion, of course, they are a new team establishing themselves on the EuroNASCAR scene. And for them, victories, good results are absolutely critical. Another driver we should mention, a driver that only came 15th yesterday, started 15th as well, but will start in 7th place for this race today, is Ryan Vargas, the driver who did the back-to-back Oschersleben and Talladega trip. Just a few weeks ago, did the Talladega truck race, the Craftsman trucks, and then the week prior to that was in Oschersleben doing the EuroNASCAR races. Had 2 top 10 finishes. He's qualified 7th based on the fastest laps for this race. And the 3F Racing team, the German outfit, looking to go Cup racing, will be keeping a watchful eye on whether he can make any positions. I understand that in warm-up this morning, he had a purple sector lap on, but made a slight error towards the end of the lap. So we know that Vargas has speed. And we know that Vargas is a determined young man. He's already made history. I'm convinced he's the only driver to have ever raced Ottersleben and Talladega on consecutive weekends. Can he maybe get 3F Racing their first EuroNASCAR top 5 as he looks to continue to help them on their quest to become a NASCAR Cup Series team from Germany in the not too distant future. Window net down in the car, fully focused. Tobias Downhauer. Of course, he's only just got to the grid, as we saw a few moments ago. I feel like this race, in these conditions, with this many championship permutations at stake, is going to be one that we're going to remember for a long time. The maths with the points add up to a very exciting prospect. The weather adds up to a very unpredictable environment to race in. And the mix of established and young talent at the front of the order also signals to me some potential for fun and games. Paul Giffreau, of course, from the third row of the grid. He'll be starting 6th place. And wouldn't he love to end his season with a 3rd win in EuroNASCAR Pro? He's got 3 EuroNASCAR 2 stickers. And now, of course, he's got the title. But he's got 3 EuroNASCAR 2 victory stickers over his door. Surely he'd like 3 of each. He's already got 2 wins in EuroNASCAR Pro, of course. Leclerc focused on a championship battle that at the start of the season he didn't know he was having. Leclerc was in Valencia basically just to drive the car because no one else was going to. But soon it became a full season campaign. He won a race at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. And sure enough, he has been in the title contention ever since. He's been consistent, despite the fact he hasn't won another race since then. But here is a man who'll be looking to work his way up the order, Ryan Vargas.
Thank you so much, Adam. Ryan, another time in Europe, another country. Compared to Germany, how is it in Belgium?
Oh, man, I mean, this weekend I've just felt so much more comfortable. I mean, right off the bat, practice, all weekend long has been phenomenal. We've been well inside the top 10, feeling really, really comfortable. We didn't get a great qualifying yesterday, which hurt our race result yesterday, but we were able to focus on getting a fast lap and put us in P7. So best ever starting result for 3F Racing, for me in the Euro Series, and just stoked to represent them in critical path security on the international stage.
Of course, I know that rain tires are now a thing also in the American US or NASCAR racing, but being here with the EuroNASCAR cars on a damn track, how is it like?
Man, I mean, it's still slippery. It's still wet. The water is still very watery, but it's still difficult. I'm not a road course guy by nature. I'm not a rain racing guy by nature. So it feels good to at least have had the pace that I've had the last few days in the wet, as it's been a mostly wet race weekend. So no, our critical path security Camaro is just really, really good. It's way better in the dry. So I'm a little bit bummed to see the weather. The one day that was predicted to be dry, and it's the worst it's been. But no, it's been just a phenomenal weekend, and lots of speed and just ready to go racing.
One last question for the European NASCAR fans out there. Are you going to visit more European countries next year?
TBD/TBA.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck, have fun.
Perfect. Thank you.
Back to you, Adam.
Oh, good. Ryan Vargas, I think, is loving his EuroNASCAR currently. He's firmly been welcomed into the paddock. It is a hugely welcoming community that is the travelling circus of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. As he said, his 3F Racing car, the critical path security Chevy Camaro, has looked good this weekend, and he's got a good starting position, his highest ever starting position in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, P7. He could get a top 5 from there. As he said, not a road course guy necessarily, not a wet weather guy necessarily, but a driver with a lot of stock car racing experience, and a driver who I think still is very hungry to prove himself. He does race in the National Series across the trucks in the Xfinities on a regular basis, but he hasn't got a full-time seat. He's still working to prove himself, and he's got a great opportunity to prove what he can do here in Europe in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series this weekend. Excited to see what he's capable of. We had a great interview on the NASCAR Twitch channel with Ash Vanderlei a few weeks ago about his trip between Oschersleben and Talladega. I think that's still available on Watchback. Well worth tuning into that if you get a chance. Great character is Ryan Vargas. So then 8 minutes and 35 seconds until the command is given. The most famous words in motorsport will signal the beginning of the important stuff. Here's the anthems. There you go. The anthems have been played out, the Belgian and US anthems back to back, signifying the American NASCAR Festival of Zolder. The best Americana that Europe has to offer. And at the center of it all is the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series and the finals weekend. Of course, we know that next year we're going to double up on this whole double point scenario. Both Oschersleben and Zolder next season will be double points. And of course, an additional round to be held at the Oval at Venray. So we are going back to ovals for the first time in a few years in at the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series as well, which is hugely exciting. Likes of Tour Speedway no longer exists, so great to go back to Venray. And the circuit that we're taking to, the Circuit Zolder, has been effectively in this configuration since 2007. It's got a lot of history behind it, of course, a former World Championship venue in Formula One, Belgian Grand Prix facility. Also held some of the highest sports car championships over the years as well. And is now currently being the home to a dancing show. But let's take a look at the circuit. We've already seen a lot of drama at turns 1 and 2 so far this weekend. So definitely keep an eye on that. It's very easy to drift wide at the first corner. Lots of good opportunities to outbrake your competitors at turns 5, 7, 9 and 11 around this circuit. It undulates, it bucks and weaves through the environment. And there's enough sharp braking zones to mean that it allows both speed, a little bit of flow, a lot of overtaking opportunities. It's a very interesting little layout here at the Circuit Zolder. Definitely does undulate a bit more in the second and third sectors, and it's a great facility. No better place to hold the finale of the 2023 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series season. It is a very exciting prospect that we've got at our hands here. Time just to reference our other partners. Of course, the Hoosier Tyres have had their workout this weekend. Kennel Performance Oil, McDonald's and TJ Titanium Jewelry all working together this season to bring us what has been a fabulous sequence of events. The 2023 season has been immensely fun. I'm sure that for 2024 we're going to come back bigger and better, as we always do. Every season it seems to top itself, the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and well, in terms of a championship fight, we have planned a corker. Lucas Lasser, our pole sitter, leads the championship by a point, as we've alluded to already on this broadcast. Vittorio Girelli, who will start in 5th place. If he can somehow win the race, he's won the championship. And all he needs to do is finish ahead of Lucas Lasser, and he will have the title. Even if it's, say, 5th and 6th place, because each position from 2nd down earns 2 points more than the position behind. Any position ahead for Vittorio Girelli of Lucas Lasser will set him the championship. Gianmarco Ercoli, the fight is rather more difficult to contend with. From 17th on the grid, he is going to have to hope for a perfect run. He's going to have to hope to avoid the inevitable dramas as everyone squeezes through the opening couple of laps. He's going to have to hope that all of the cards fall in his favour, and both Lasser and Girelli receive a supremely bad hand. Given it's wet, we're expecting the formation lap to be followed by a lap under safety car. That is usually standard protocol in the wet conditions. I don't think that's been formally confirmed yet, but they've confirmed in the race control that is the likely case. We'll have to wait and see once that is confirmed, but we are expecting the first lap of this 18-lap race to potentially be held under safety car because the conditions are, of course, wet. As you can see, no sign of it drying on the main straight. Some other parts of the track look a little bit drier. Certainly nowhere near slicks anywhere on this circuit yet. We're not going to see the slicks out in this race. What you might see, though, once the cars are running around at speed, is a drying line towards the end of the race, and they might have to start looking to cool down the wet tyres on the deeper wet patches around the circuit. It's going to be a nuanced race, this. There's going to be a lot of action. There's going to be calculations, I'm sure, from all of the teams, and it's going to be very difficult to know what to expect. What we can expect in just a few moments, though, is the start command. Let's make sure we don't miss it. Let's go down there now. There you go, the engines have been fired. My apologies, that went on a bit longer than expected. But the command has been given. And all of the time for fun, all of the time for rock, paper, scissors, hot dogging and grandstanding has come to an end. It's now the serious business of a championship. Luca Lasser on pole position in that number 64 car. He is your championship leader. If either he, Vittorio Garelli, or somehow Gianmarco Ercoli take this race win today, they will be the champion. However, there's a long way and a lot of competitors between now and the end of the race. For Lasser, he's got some of the hardest young chargers in the game around him. Liam Hazemans, Vladimiros Siortsis, Tobias Dauenhauer, the experienced Frenchman, native of Po, is going to have to work very hard to secure his second race win. Of course, he just needs to finish ahead of Vittorio Garelli, so he'll be aware of that too. He will more than likely be thinking championship long game here all race long. If he has to finish second, that's fine. So long as Vittorio Garelli, of course, isn't first. Lucas Lasser is your pole sitter for this race then. In the number 64 Speedhouse car, he wants to take his own team to the championship. Liam Hazeman second alongside Vladimiros Siortsis, who'll be seeking redemption and retribution after his issues in EN2. Tobias Dauenhauer in fourth. Championship contender Vittorio Garelli just 1 point off title lead. He starts fifth alongside the newest EuroNASCAR 2 champion, Paul Giffreau. Ryan Vargas starts from 7th place alongside the Swiss, Giorgio Maggi. 9th position is the Italian Fabrizio Armetta, looking to sew up the Challenger Trophy here today. Sebastian Bleekemolen in 10th place. 11th place for Anthony Kumpen, the 4th place man in the championship with a very much outside shot at the title. Martin Dubeck in 12th. 13th place for Thomas Tuffel. 14th place is Ulysse Delso. And in P15, it is Thomas Dombrowski. Who did you not see there? You didn't see Gianmarco Ercoli. Now you see him warming up the tyres in the 54 car. He starts in 17th place behind Riccardo Romagnoli, Thomas Chrysonis, Yevgen Sokolovsky, Dario Casso and Mario Ercoli, the younger brother to Gianmarco, round out the remainder of the grid. But for Gianmarco Ercoli, he has a mountain to climb unlike any we have ever seen. 17th on the grid. It's a big, big, big ask. Now, the safety car is indeed going to be deployed at the end of this formation lap, so the safety car isn't going to vacate this time by. That, of course, is unfortunate for Gianmarco Ercoli. It gives him one fewer lap to pick his way through the order. It also more than likely means a single file restart once we do go racing, but that's to be confirmed. They may yet decide to go double file, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, if it does go double file, that will be a bit more useful for Jimmy Ercoli. The field closer together will allow him to maybe pick through some more positions, and the same, of course, applies to Vittorio Garelli. Garelli feels like the main challenger now to Luca Lasser, given the positioning of the driver in 17th place, Gianmarco Ercoli. It really does feel like, barring any significant drivers, the focus has to be on Luca Lasser versus Vittorio Garelli. So the safety car remains out there, this time by lap 1 of the race begins. It's lap 1 of 18 then. I expect it'll only be this lap behind safety car unless we have any trouble. It's been a difficult weekend, a challenging weekend at every juncture for the drivers of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series in both EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. It was a crazy race earlier on in EuroNASCAR 2. It started dry And it was probably wetter than this by the end of the race, at least at this section of the circuit. Paul Giffreau and the rest of the drivers doing a great job to largely stay out of trouble on slick tyres in conditions like these. Now everybody is on the wets, of course. And Luca Lasser will recognise his opportunity. I did say previously that I thought he might give up a win in order to take the championship, but to be honest with you, I think that Lasser needs to focus up on just staying ahead of everybody, because Vittorio Garelli, I have no doubt, is a former single-seater champion in AutoGP, is a former EN2 champion, as a driver who simply knows his way around a championship decider and doesn't crack under pressure particularly easily. I feel like Vittorio... Did someone just spin? Looked to me like someone may have had a spin. Yes, I think perhaps one of the Speedhouse cars may have looped round there. Nonetheless, I was just going to say that, yeah, Vittorio Garelli, I don't think he cracks under pressure particularly easily. I also think that he will work his way through the order. I think that while it's going to be very difficult to get around Hazeman, Siortzis and Downhauer, it wouldn't shock me if he found himself in second place. So if Lucas Lasser drops himself down behind, say, Hazeman's because he doesn't feel it's worth the battle, he could end up with Garelli right in his bumper, and that's not what he needs. It's just been confirmed that we are having one more lap under safety car conditions, which is honestly a bit of a shame, but that's what's been decided. Of course, for Luca Lasser, this is all great, because it neutralises the situation, allows him to drive around as the race leader, which is the easiest thing. But only one more lap under safety car conditions is the bulletin, so we almost certainly expect the lights off and the racing to begin next time. And it's confirmed, safety car in this lap. Start will be single file. So it'll be a single file restart. We will go racing in just a few moments' time in earnest. It is lap 2 of the race as we speak. The race will properly begin as we tick over to lap number 3. Oh, and is that Garelli? Is that Vittorio Garelli? We need to zoom in on that picture. I'm pretty sure that's Vittorio. It is. It's Vittorio Garelli. What has happened to Garelli? Garelli has had a moment there. The main contender, the driver who I've just spent the last couple of minutes saying doesn't crack under pressure. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Vittorio Garelli. But spun under safety car condition. And was he pushed? I must admit I didn't see it happen in real time. So I don't know if he had contact. Doesn't look like there's been any contact, but the key bulletin that's come through, 72 to keep position. Now that's a little tiny bit ambiguous, but that means, to my understanding, that he has to now start the race from the back of the grid. So for Luca Lasser, the seas have parted. Now, suddenly, not only is Jimmy Ercole 17th, but Vittorio Garelli has managed to demote himself down to the very back of the grid. Insanity. Crazy. Of all the situations we'd have expected. An absolute land speed record for commentators' curses, I'm afraid. My apologies to Team Blake Molan and Vittorio Garelli. But what an unconventional error that was. Single file restart this time. Garelli has a huge amount of work to do. Gianmarco Ercole now has a bit less work to do. He will be 16th. For Luca Lasser, though, suddenly victory isn't that necessary. If he can just finish well, He now knows that both of his closest title rivals are a long way back. I somehow doubt that both of those drivers are going to stay back there, though. Now the safety car has left the building. The racing can begin in earnest. Lap 3 of 18 begins now, but more importantly, the race begins now. It's Luca Lasser that leads the way. Liam Hazeman's in second place, Vladimiros Siortsis in third. Everybody having to be careful towards the first corner at racing speed. Tobias Dauenhauer on the offensive, trying to get up the inside of Liam Hazeman's. 3 wide between Hazeman's, Dauenhauer and Siortsis. Somehow they all find room, and Dauenhauer looks to have got through into second place. Yes, he has. Ryan Vargas with a decent start as well. He's up in 7th place still by the looks of it. In fact, no, he's a couple of positions down. A good start by the looks of it from Giorgio Maggi. Maggi's made up a couple of positions, and of course, for our purposes of the championship battle, well, both Urkeli and the 72 car are a long way further back in the pack. Through the spray, we see Jimmy Urkeli. Where is the 72? There it is, just ahead of the 2 Victor Motorsport cars. Vittorio Garelli has quite the battle ahead of him to get anywhere near the front of the pack. Luca Lasser, we see just how bad the spray is. The spray is made worse by the fact that the sun is beating down on the circuit now as well. Certainly that affects the camera lens, and it will affect the vision for the drivers as well. Now, Casso has gotten back past Garelli there, so I think Vittorio Garelli may have made an error. Goodness me, the start apparently is under investigation as well. So that's going to be something to watch, but for now, Luca Lasser is your race leader, with Tobias Dauenhauer currently racing him hard. For Dauenhauer, this is not a comfortable situation. He's a great young man. He does not want to affect the title battle. But frankly, he's here to race, and he's going to go for it. Once again, his windscreen wiper is letting him down, but he gets on the brakes. His brake pedal certainly isn't letting him down. He gets himself into the lead. Oh, but then he loses traction coming out of the corner on the painted curbs. Can Dauenhauer hold the lead? It looks as if he's going to. Yes, he is. Tobias Dauenhauer gets himself up into the lead of the race. It's side by side between Hazeman and Siortsis, with Giorgio Maggi very much keeping them company as well. The Junior Trophy Championship is one to watch. Hazeman's, as it stands, I think could actually lose the Junior Trophy to Liam Hazeman if things finish exactly as they are now, with him behind Siortsis. Would they be tied? It would be very close nonetheless. Certainly with Dauenhauer winning, if he can hold on to the lead that he's just gained, that would make life harder for Liam Hazeman when it comes to the Junior Trophy. We're going to have to keep an eye on that too. Drivers make their way through the Villeneuve chicane. There's Gianmarco Urkeli, who was 14th across the line, so he's made up some places. He's still 14th at the moment, behind Romagnoli in the 65. Romagnoli looks like he's left the inside open. They'll be side by side when they come back into view here at Boulderberg. Let's see if the 54 car has gotten through. Sure enough, yes, he has. The Cal Racing 54 is through. Where is the 72? Pirelli was 19th across the line. He got himself back past Dario Casso, but he was some 3 seconds off the back of Yevgen Sokolovsky. Ryan Vargas side by side with Sebastian Blekemolen. There's a Worlds Collide moment if ever I've seen one. Through the spray, you see the battling, and Blekemolen has got himself past Vargas, who is, I think, dropped down now a little bit further to 10th place. There is Jimmy Urkeli, though, right on the back of Dubek now for 13th place. Rather for 12th place, I should say. Urkeli looks like he may have gotten past Dubek. Urkeli looks like that car is hooked up this morning. for these wet conditions. It's of course the afternoon, but we'll ignore that. Ercole really making hay, already up to P12. Lasser in second place, and Lasser is already 3 seconds back from the race leader. So Tobias Downhauer is absolutely flying here. Ryan Vargas up ahead of the 54. Oh, and a car in the barrier. I think that could have been one of the Speedhouse cars. Didn't quite catch which car that was, but someone in a spin there from the mid-pack. Don't think it was a title contender. There is Paul Dufresne. He's running down in 8th place at the moment. Oh, goodness, Ulysse Delceau deep on the brakes there. Championship standings as it stands would be indeed Lucas Lasser as the championship winner if he finishes where he is currently. Jimmy Ercole would inherit second in the championship from Vittorio Garelli. Garelli still down in 19th last time across the line. There's Ercole though. Where is he now? He's 9th place, so he's gotten himself ahead of a few more drivers on that lap. The seas have parted for Jimmy Ercole. In fact, he's up to 10th place rather than 9th. My apologies. Paul Dufresne down to 9th position then. Sebastian Bleekemolen has got himself up into 8th. Bleekemolen with some good running in these conditions. The car that spun appears to have been Thomas Chrysonis. Meanwhile, 2 seconds quicker than anyone else out there is Tobias Downhauer right now. That promotion car is hooked up. It was hastily repaired, lest we forget, after the EuroNASCAR 2 race earlier on. But Downhauer is doing a great job. And I'm just being told, sorry, it was a 65 car of Romagnoli that spun. So my apologies for not spotting that. But the Club Motorsport car, 65 of Romagnoli in a spin. Thomas Chrysonis went missing as well on that lap, but has crossed the line 45 seconds off the leader. Tobias Downhauer driving away. Luca Lasser under pressure from Vladimiros Tsiotsis meanwhile. So Lasser, again, he can afford to drop positions right now. But to be honest with you, I'm not sure how long that's going to be the case, because it really does seem as though Jimmy Ercole has his eye in today. However, Ercole would need to outscore the 64 driver. He'd need to be 3 positions clear of Luca Lasser to secure the championship per my maths. And look at that, Lasser waving Tsiotsis by. We saw the Frenchman's hand, but then he didn't actually let Tsiotsis by. Or was that a different signal? I thought that was come through, young man. Maybe it wasn't, I don't know. But the 64 car, Luca Lasser remains in second place for now. I'd be real hesitant about dropping places unnecessarily here. The inside looks the 5 car. Tsiotsis trying to find his way through. Frankly, I think Tobias Downhauer in his own area code now, almost 10 seconds quicker, or 10 seconds clear of this battle for second place. If anyone's going to get anywhere near him, I need to get past quickly, and frankly, I don't think anyone's got the same level of pace. He was 3 seconds quicker than anyone else last time by. Ridiculous driving from Tobias Downhauer. What has he found? Through goes Giorgio Maggi for 3rd place. So Tsiotsis, after trying to get around Luca Lasser, well, suddenly it's Maggi who goes up to 3rd place. So Giorgio Maggi in the Race Art Technology car moves up to P3. Ryan Vargas went off track and lost 4 positions at the chicane. I think that may have been seen on the pictures, so my apologies for missing that. Cars 3, 18 and 24 with 10 seconds penalties for false starts. So that's Giorgio Maggi, who's just moved up to 3rd place. That's the number 3 car of Paul Dufresne, and Anthony Kumpen So I think there, unfortunately, the last dying embers of Anthony Kumpen's title campaign may have just flickered out of existence. Oh, and a bit came off, I think, Hazeman's car there. I think his splitter just gave out underneath him. You see there that the front splitter has gone missing. Hazeman's splitter shattering. I think must have made some contact with the car ahead of him. And he'll now have a little bit of reduced front downforce as a result of that. These cars aren't exactly resplendent with downforce. Much more of a mechanical grip car, but nonetheless that will cause an issue for Hazeman's. Anthony Kumpen, I don't know if he knows he's got his penalty yet, but he has it, and that's going to cause him some strife. Giorgio Maggi, of course, also with a 10-second penalty. So Giorgio Maggi, even if he does close up to Luca Lasser, he won't actually get by until he's got a 10-second lead over Luca Lasser in the eyes of the timing screen. A 12-second lead for Tobias Downhauer at the front of the order is incredibly impressive. Bear in mind this race effectively started on lap 3 after 2 laps under safety car. We're on lap 8. He's a dozen seconds clear. He's already gone. He's already pretty much at the last 2 corners as Lasser arrives at the Boulderberg corner. Gianmarco Ercoli seems to have ended up hitting a wall, figuratively, not literally, because he is there in 10th place, and the upward momentum, the trajectory that we saw from him in the early stages seems to have halted. He's still there behind Dufresne. Granted, he will inherit the position from Dufresne if things finish as they are. 10-second penalty for the newest champion in EuroNASCAR 2. Jimmy Ercoli, having got into the top 10, that forward momentum has come to an end. Anthony Kumpen has backed off the back of Liam Hazeman's as well, so I think Kumpen must have put a foot wrong somewhere. Ryan Vargas was down as low as 14th place after having his off. He's now back up to 12th position by the looks of it, so Vargas making up some places. He'd love a top 10 finish to round out his weekend in Belgium. They're at almost half distance. They'll complete lap 9 this time by, and Tobias Downhauer is currently well on his way to another great result for himself in promotion racing, but perhaps more importantly for the majority of you watching at home, Luca Lasser is currently en route to becoming the 2023 champion as it stands. If the race were to finish now, Luca Lasser in 2nd place would comfortably outscore all of his title rivals. He of course leads the championship by 1 point over Vittorio Garelli. Garelli, who was set to start 5th place, he spun under safety car conditions at the early juncture of this race. It was lap 2 of the race, which was held under safety car. And he spun out. Garelli currently running in 16th place. There he is now, just coming down to Boulderberg. Garelli in the 72 car with very little chance of perhaps even getting to the top 10 at this juncture. I thought Garelli's icy cool demeanour would serve him well. He's won championships before, but unfortunately he made a mistake at the vital moment, and that seems to have cost him his shot. At the moment, it would also cost him vice champion status. As it stands, I believe he would finish 3rd in the title. Although even that I query whether Anthony Kumpen might take that away from him. We saw Sebastian Bleekemolen, though, in the gravel. Bleekemolen was in the gravel there at turn 1. So Sebastian Bleekemolen, the teammate to Garelli, has ended up in the gravel trap at the first corner. Garelli moves up to 15th place. Jimmy Ercoli moves up to 9th position. Seb Blakemolen was running in 8th, and it's a very weird place to come off. I just wonder whether maybe he had a long brake pedal or something, or just got it wrong. But nonetheless, Blakemolen is stranded in the gravel. Granted, stranded in the gravel a long way away from the racing surface, so whether or not that needs to be dealt with in any way, oh, never mind. I was just wondering whether we were going to see a full course yellow. The message that just flashed up from race control: be ready for procedure. Full course yellow conditions are being put into effect so they can recover the car. Tobias Downhow has already passed the scene of the accident. He's so far ahead. Weird to me, because it looks like Blakemolen could have driven on, to be honest. It doesn't look particularly deep, does it? Maybe he had a failure. Perhaps there was more of a mechanical issue than a driver error there, because that car doesn't look particularly dug up, does it? There is some front damage, so whether or not there was some contact, we don't know, but Seb Blakemolen will continue to fall down the order. This man, Tobias Downhour, though, has had a stellar race to this point. Of course, with the full course yellow conditions, the intervals no longer apply, but he was over a dozen seconds clear before the full course yellow dropped. And there you see the size of the gap between Downhour and Luca Lasser. Lasser won't care, though. He'll take the second step of the podium if it means he secures a championship today. And again, a reminder, as it stands, it would be Luca Lasser's championship. Lasser, not just a driver at Speedhouse, of course, he is also the man in charge. And wouldn't he love to lead by example? If I remember rightly, his best finish in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series across a season has been 3rd place. He won the precursor to the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, the race car Euro Series, previous to the NASCAR branding coming in. But for Lasser, this would, surprisingly, given how long he's been on the scene, be a first title, if he can make it last. The 45-year-old from Pau. Anyone born in Pau was exposed to racing at an early age, of course, the home of the legendary Pau Grand Prix. Luca Lasser, currently in 2nd place. He just needs to make this last, keep it on the tarmac. Vittorio Garelli made a critical error before we even went green flag racing. Seems as though we are about to go back to green flag conditions. In fact, we might already be. Yes, they're switching over to green flags. We are racing once again. Tobias Downhour back up to speed at the head of the order. The German racer for promotion has been second to none the entire length of the main straight and then some between himself and Luca Lasser in 2nd place, but it's a really tight, compact queue from 2nd back. Of course, Giorgio Maggi in 3rd place has a 10-second penalty for a false start. So as it stands, that 3rd place is going to be lost. Anthony Kumpen has the same situation. So the 4th place man in the championship is going to free fall down the order. And Paul Giuffreau also with a 10-second penalty applied. Giuffreau currently running in 8th place. He may drop out of the top 10 depending on how the last few laps of this race go down. Tobias Downhour, though, has very little to think about other than just getting the car to the flag, and the same applies to Luca Leclerc, albeit he does have to worry about the cars coming up behind him. However, I think right now he's just focusing on doing quick laps, keeping the car steady and doing less of that. Just tried to carry too much speed there on tyres that had cooled down through the chicane. Straight lining the chicane, may now bring himself under threat from Giorgio Maggi, who is almost certainly going to go on the attack to try and get past and try and build a lead, because of course that 10-second penalty looming large over his head. He needs to build some distance to try and lose as fewer positions as possible. But also Giorgio is a considerate young man. I don't think he'd want to jeopardise Luca Leclerc's situation, but we'll have to see. Lucas Leclerc, the second place man. What is the gap now? We'll see it across the line now. Dauenhauer through. Where's Lucas? He'll come over the crest eventually. There he is. Let's see what the gap is across the line then. It's got to be in excess of 15, 16 seconds now. Giorgio Maggi, though, on the offensive. Leclerc had to cover him off there. The gap is, according to my timing screen, 28 seconds. Goodness me. Incredible stuff from Dauenhauer, who has just driven away from the competition. Leclerc, Maggi, Siortzis and Hazemans in one long queue at the moment. I think as it stands, though, 5th place finish, I think that Dauenhauer is currently in position to win Junior Trophy, or is he? Because Hazemans, of course, will inherit a position from Giorgio Maggi's penalty. They might end up tied on points in Junior Trophy. I'm sure that the media team will let me know about that in due course, but that's going to be a matter of interest after the flag has fallen. Who exactly has won the Junior Trophy? Right now, I think it would be tied between Dauenhauer and Hazemans, if my maths doesn't fail me. Oh, but into the gravel has gone Dario Casso. Now, where was that? I think that was turn 2. Oh, Dauenhauer, nearly. Goodness me. Looked for a moment there that he was going straight on. Yellow flags at turn 2. That is because of Dario Casso's car. Pretty close to the racing surface as well, I think. They're probably debating it right now, whether they keep the green flags out with local yellows or whether they need to recover that car under full course. Giorgio Maggi still hunting Luca Leclerc. Speeds during full course yellow are under investigation from the last FCY. And we understand it's going to happen again now. Oh, Vladimiros Siortzis. Vladimiros Siortzis has pulled in. That looks like the Villeneuve chicane. We've lost Vladimiros Siortzis. Now that brings things back into Liam Hazemans' favour in the Junior Trophy Championship. Siortzis was ahead of Hazemans. Unfortunately, the disappointing conclusion to Siortzis' season over the last 2 meetings has extended to EuroNASCAR Pro. Unfortunately, the Cypriot racer has a long walk back to the paddock from there. Full course yellow then. All eyes on Luca Leclerc. Currently en route to a championship if things stay as they are. Jimmy Erkely in 8th place. He's done a good job of getting himself back up there from 17th on the grid. Obviously not enough for a championship. He was 5 points back from Leclerc, so he needed to outscore the Frenchman by a significant margin. But what he will do, if things finish as they are, is move ahead of Vittorio Garelli to take second place, the vice championship. Garelli currently in 14th position, has really struggled in these inclement weather conditions. Don't believe this is going to be the longest of full course yellows. It seems as though the turn 2 marshals had sprung into action pretty quickly. And sure enough, we're green. So we're back to green flag conditions now. Tobias Downhauer opens up the taps once again. We head on to lap 15 of this race, and Downhauer, with 4 to go, is en route for one of the most dominant victories in recent memory in EuroNASCAR. Certainly in the couple of years that I've been commentating on this, I can't remember a bigger margin between first and second place. I certainly can't remember anything previous to that, at least in the early 2020s. It's been a long time since anyone has struck away from the field in this manner. Luca Lasser, though, in second place. He doesn't need to go victory hunting in the race. He just needs a decent finish, and he's on course for that right now in second place. But Giorgio Maggi has made his aspirations of getting past clear on a few occasions. He's still right on the back of the Speedhouse car. Of course, Maggi with a 10-second penalty, so he's unlikely to register as a second place finish anyway. But of course, what he wants is the ability to try and build a gap over the cars behind him. Anthony Kumpen also has a 10-second penalty and is on the back of Liam Hazelman's, probably wanting to make up position and get some track space for the same reasons. Quick Ryan Vargas update for those watching from the US. He's just behind Ulysse Delso, on the verge of a top 10 finish. So 3F Racing and Vargas may yet get that critical path security Camaro to the top 10. We'll have to wait and see. '64 car, contact! Lucas Lasser spins around. I was just going to say that Lasser was looking a bit wide, and he's been tagged into a spin. He rejoins the race ahead of the 54. Gianmarco Ercoli is still behind Lucas Lasser, but that's a huge, huge, huge moment in the race. Luca Lasser has been demoted in a big way there. Contact. I think that was him and Maggi, wasn't it? I was so transfixed on the 64 car spinning. Oh my goodness. And look at the damage on the 64 as well. Oh, it was Mario Ercoli. Mario Ercoli. Oh no. Okay. So Mario Ercoli spun Luca Lasser. I won't say any more than that. I was just checking something on the timing screens and on my maths at the time, but just looked up in time to see the 64 car spinning, and it was Mario Ercoli. And look at the damage on the 64. Look at the man who's just behind him. Lasser is in 7th. Gianmarco Ercoli is in 8th. Yes, Ercoli, just like Mario. Luca Lasser in 7th place. And look at that, he couldn't get the car turned. I think he's got some damage. Again, there's a 5-point deficit between Lasser and Gianmarco Ercoli. So Ercoli would need to get past Lasser and then finish 3 positions ahead of him in order to secure the championship. So it's not as if getting past him will do it for Ercoli alone. He has to either try and get ahead of some others or hope that Lasser loses some more positions. As it stands, Lucas Leclerc would still be your EuroNASCAR Pro Champion for 2023. A title that he would take by 7 points as it stands. And we also have to think about bonus points for most positions gained, which I think the media centre have just realised as well, and everyone is scrabbling. And that could be enough for Jimmy Erkeli, because Erkeli started 17th. If he's gained the most positions of anybody, he started 17th in his 8th. So 8 bonus points to consider. Oh, that's a twist in the tail on the penultimate lap of this race. We hope you can appreciate this is a very fluid situation here at the moment. None of us were expecting that to happen to Luca Leclerc. Look at the damage on the front of that car. It's clearly not straight and true at this stage. I think with the bonus points, if I'm doing my maths right, it would currently be Erkeli's by a point. I'll wait for confirmation from the far smarter members of the EuroNASCAR media team. This is the final lap of the race. My apologies, the clock didn't update on screen. I didn't pick up on that. It is the final lap of the race, so our race leader, Tobias Downhour, has just crossed the line to start the final lap. These guys are still on their penultimate lap. So there's still a lap and change to go for Leclerc and Erkeli. And I think Leclerc... Oh, this is very complex because, of course, there are cars with penalties up ahead. Giorgio Maggi has a penalty. And as it stands, I think that Maggi, Kumpen and Dufro will fall behind Leclerc and behind Erkeli. That doesn't change too much, of course, because from second down, it's 2-point intervals between each position. So 68, 66, 64, 62, 60, and so on. This is very difficult, but my understanding of the current situation, quite possibly a championship for Jimmy Erkeli, but everyone's calculators are ablaze at the moment. Tobias Downhour, his tyres are ablaze. He's already near the line. We need to have a look at the 99 car because the promotion, number 99, 43 seconds ahead of second place. I suspect he's already coming to the start-finish. Sure enough, here he is. Tobias Downhour claims the final victory of 2023 in the EuroNASCAR Pro category. Another win for he in promotion. That is a great story for them, a great way to end the season. Giorgio Maggi will cross the line second, but he's got a 10-second penalty for a false start, as does Anthony Kumpen, as does Paul Giffreau. So Liam Hazemans will claim second. Fabrizio Armetta, I think, might be about to go to an overall podium from 5th place. He's snuck up there in a big way for the Club Motorsport. This will all come out in the wash as they cross the line. Goodness gracious me. Across the line comes Maggi. Hazemans will take second place with the penalties applied, which means 3rd place as well to Armetta. And that also, I think, means that 4th place will be Luca Leclerc. The penalties will be applied retroactively, but our understanding of this situation is that Erkeli may have just won the championship by a singular point. Vittorio Garelli crosses the line, a lowly 13th place. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done here today. Had a moment, had an error before the race even really got started. And that ended his title bid before it really began on finals day. But the question mark remains, who has taken this championship? The maths that we have here suggests that Gianmarco Ercoli will have 411 points and Luca Lasser will have 410. Vittorio Garelli will take third in the championship just on 385, whereas Hazemans and Kumpen will be tied on fourth place on 384. Hazemans fourth in the championship by the looks of it. Hazemans critically also seemingly taking the junior trophy, but the big story here, the big concern here, is getting this right. I'm hearing conflicting reports as everybody tries to figure out exactly what has happened. Apologise that I can't be definitive right now, but with the situation that's happened to Luca Lasser, with the bonus points in play for Jimmy Ercoli as well, this is a very complex situation. It's just something that I want to check, which I'll do very quickly on my own time, as Tobias Dauenhauer heads to victory lane. There's no question mark over the race victory because he absolutely dominated that race. But Tobias Dauenhauer arrives and is greeted by Andre Viegold. The dramas and the maths is in place. Again, per our understanding, it seems as though Gianmarco Ercoli on 411 points has taken the championship from Luca Lasser. Lasser has parked up behind Tobias Dauenhauer. Does he think he's champion? Has he factored in those bonus points? Is this a man climbing out of a car ready to celebrate a championship that he thinks he's won? And if that is the case, what now? Again, my understanding, provisionally, massive provisionally, is that Gianmarco Ercoli will have secured the championship by 1 point. 411 for him, 410 for Luca Lasser. I see that Andre Viegold is talking to Luca Lasser right now. I have no idea what he just said, but you can imagine how high the tensions are. This is a situation that is very uncomfortable, very difficult to judge with any surety, but the maths based on the provisional results with the penalties applied to the various drivers that false started is 411 points for Jimmy Ercoli and 410 for Lucas Lasser. Tobias Dauenhauer in the 99 car is in victory lane. He will secure a victory. We'll hear from him once he's out of the car, we imagine. But for now, question marks that loom over the broader picture beyond round 12 of the season. Well, the primary focus of everybody. Provisionally speaking, Jimmy Ercoli will have won this championship. 411 points for him. Luca Lasser on 410. What you saw was Lasser in a spin down at the Boulderberg corner. And it seems as if it was Mario Ercoli that collided with him, the younger brother of Gianmarco. Which is a terrible way for things to go if it is the way things have gone. We think we are going to go to victory lane with Andre in a little while. That is my understanding. Tobias Downhauer and the 99 promotion crew definitely have great reason to celebrate. That car was absolutely hooked up, as was its driver. Tobias Downhauer, absolutely undisputed as the winner. The celebrations for promotion, of course, it was a German team, a German driver that won on German soil at Oschersleben. Tobias Downhauer will secure second in junior trophy and 6th overall, looking at the provisional standings of the championship. But one last race win, stating with intent that Tobias Downhauer is a face to consider in future championships. Of course, they only joined the series for Brands Hatch. They missed Valencia at the beginning of the year. It was a learning curve in the first couple of races for the brand new team. However, the team, the driver, are now perfectly syncopated, and I think in 2024 we could see a lot of Tobias Downhauer. Andre Viegold is down there with him. Let's get a word from our race winner.
Thank you so much, Tobias. What an amazing race for you. You mastered the rain.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the rain, and the car feels just amazing. It was a fight for us because we had a crash in the N2 race, and my team managed to fix it. My team managed to fix the car 10 minutes before the race starts. So many thanks to the team. Amazing car, and I love these conditions, and just amazing to see such a lot of fans here, and really happy to end the season like this.
For the junior trophy standings, we still have no confirmation right now, so we have to wait a little bit like that. But if you sum up the first season with promotion, with the guys behind you making this all possible, just tell me how you feel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting better and better over the season. So we are a new team here in this series, but 2 wins in our first season. So that's a pretty good result for us, and looking forward to the future, and hopefully we see more of that.
Then it's time for the sticker. Back to you, Adam.
There you go, sticker on the car, the 99 promotion Chevy Camaro. Again, it is very difficult to know exactly what the outcome of this is going to be, but provisionally, the math is stating that Erkeli will be champion. Was a drama down at Boldenberg that sent the number 54 car into a spin. I've just watched it back, I must say, and yeah, it's not the most subtle maneuver I've ever seen, but Gianmarco Erkeli, per the maths at the moment, would be champion. Gianmarco Erkeli, champ, is the line that we're getting here. 411 points to Erkeli, 410 to Luca Lasser. From 17th on the grid, we all rather thought that Erkeli was at best a secondary contender in the championship, and it's just been confirmed. As you can see there, they just got word through. Gianmarco Erkeli is now celebrating the 2023 EuroNASCAR Pro Championship. Alberto Nasca is there, the team is there celebrating. You can see how much it means to Jimmy Erkeli. He is a champion in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. Andre Viegold is there. Andre, I'll leave the air open for you here to try and get a word.
The declaration was...
Gianmarco.
We'll hopefully get Andre and Gianmarco shortly. We continue to look at victory lane, though, where Tobias Downhauer's car is in the winning position. Rather tellingly, Luca Lasser's from Speedhouse is also there, but the third car in the queue is the car that is understood to be champion. Gianmarco Erkeli and Andre Viegold are now here, and if Andre maybe offers a hug to Gianmarco, which seems to be his favourite thing, he might get a word.
I have him right now. It was really, really hard to get him. What a final. Just tell me what's going through your head right now.
Yeah, it's incredible. After yesterday, I think it's finished, but the team, no, it's finished tomorrow. I don't think it's finished because it's finished only tomorrow. Don't think nothing, think only to push hard. The air condition of Zolder, me and the car, a lot of yesterday, but before the start of the rescue, Corrado, Luca and all the team arrived to me. Jimmy, fun drive, only fun drive, don't think nothing, fun drive. And it's unlucky because today I'm lucky man. I arrive my first victory in the pro category. For me it's much important, it's very important for me.
I have to ask one question because Luca Lasser was involved in an accident with your younger brother. Have you seen or heard anything about that?
I don't see, I don't know.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
If there's nothing, you know, it's okay.
I speak with Luca for the accidents, but I don't know.
But on your side, how much does this title mean to you?
Yeah, I'm very happy, and it's a very big dream. Win another time here after the 2015. I'm very happy. Now it's difficult to show my happy because I don't have the voice, but I'm very happy. Congrats to the team for all the season, for my sponsor and for my family who stay in these moments near me, my house, my girlfriend. I'm very happy, and big news in April. I will daddy. Yeah.
Congratulations, mate.
A baby girl. Thank you.
Our new EuroNASCAR Pro champion, Gianmarco Erkeli.
Yeah. Come on, come on.
Wow. Wow, okay. So a lot of news coming out there from Jimmy Erkeli. He is the 2023 EuroNASCAR Pro champion. The last I'll say on the incident with Lasser myself is that inevitably there's going to be protest, but the maths doesn't lie, the point scoring system doesn't lie, and Gianmarco Erkeli is the 2023 EuroNASCAR Pro champion. Gianmarco Ercoli and the Cal Racing team have worked incredibly hard this season. They came in looking like favourites. With Alan Day, the reigning champion, not present, a lot of people's eyes shifted to Jimmy Ercoli. However, new combinations such as Vittorio Garelli and the Team Blakemolen outfit definitely proved to be strong contenders. Of course, the likes of Lasser, Kumpen, even young Liam Hazemans all came in as potential title contenders too. But Jimmy Ercoli, with all the help from his friends, has secured the 2023 EuroNASCAR Pro Championship. Podium ceremonies won't be too far away, as with the... Oh, goodness me, I've got some horrible feedback on my audio. Just resetting mine. Check 1, 2. Okay. I think that may have been exclusively on my end, so apologies if that did come through. I'm sorry. If you didn't hear that, then you just have to rely on the fact that it sounded horrible through my ears. But nonetheless, the podium ceremonies, as with EuroNASCAR 2, will cover both the championships and the race results. So, I mean, one thing we need to cover, Fabrizio Armetta, he's going to be an overall podium finisher in this race. He is going to be resplendent with joy. And the first podium we're going to have up there is the championship podium. All I have to say is it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Vittorio Garelli will be the third place finisher in the championship. Lucas Lasser and Gianmarco Ercoli will be on top of those podium steps for the championship. There'll be race podiums, there'll be trophy podiums as well. Another piece of information that's coming in is that the team's championship appears to have gone to the number 50 crew. The Hendricks Motorsport duo of Jill Linster and Liam Hazemans, with Hazemans' late run of form in EuroNASCAR Pro after some misfortunes in the mid-season, has seemingly proven to be enough to secure a championship for them in the team's title, which will be huge for them. Junior Trophy Championship is also due to be celebrated. In fact, no, my apologies, I'm reading the sheet wrong. I'm horribly sorry about that. It's the RDV competition number 3 car that will be the champion in the team's championship. Hendricks, though, do recover to 3rd place. I did think that was a bit, it was a bit of a turnaround. Hendricks Motorsport 3rd, Cal Racing 54 2nd, and RDV competition 1st will be the team's championship. So my apologies for mixing that up. It is reverse chronological on the sheet that I've been given. But RDV competition came into this weekend kind of fighting the Cal Racing 54 crew over that team's title. And Paul Giffreau securing EuroNASCAR 2 earlier on today has proven to be enough for them to secure the team's championship across both EuroNASCAR categories, which is a huge achievement for RDV competition, a team that has been waiting to get back into that spotlight for such a long time. Us is the champion by a single point over Luca Lasser. Lasser, who of course came in with a single point lead over Vittorio Garelli, but Garelli, fumbling under safety car conditions, cost himself a shot at the title today. Gianmarco Ercoli is presented to the crowd as the new champion. Jerome Galpin, the head honcho of EuroNASCAR, comes up on the podium. Alongside Gianmarco Ercoli. He is the 2023 champ. He is the man who will be along to the US to secure, or to be acknowledged as, one of NASCAR's 2023 champions. Vittorio Garelli to the third step. He will be contemplating that spin under safety car conditions for a long time to come. And Lucas Lasser, I believe, just shook the hands of Jimmy Ercoli. While there's clearly disappointment etched across his face, that was very sporting. Vittorio Garelli receives the third place in the championship, and Luca Lasser claiming second place. That's still his best ever finish in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, EuroNASCAR Pro. Ian Speedhouse will be happy with that second in the championship, matching, of course, what Alexander Graf did in the second in the 64 car last year. It was good to see that sporting moment there between Lasser and Ercoli. Given everything that happened there, it would have been quite easy for Lasser to react far worse than he has. And a 45-year-old who's seen it all and done it twice in racing instead takes the high road and will still go to the US to the big ceremony, and will no doubt regroup for 2024. Whether it's as a driver or whether he focuses on team boss duties, we'll have to see. Okay, let's see if they can open the bubbly better than the EuroNASCAR 2 Championship podium. Resounding no. There you go, Vittorio Garelli. They've all done it. Well done, lads. Yeah, EuroNASCAR 2's championship podium really struggled with the corks earlier on. Gianmarco Ercoli, Lucas Lasser and Vittorio Garelli cheers a very competitive 2023 EuroNASCAR Pro season. season where coming into this weekend, you really wouldn't have wanted to put money against any of them. Not just the three on the podium, but also Anthony Kumpen, who was almost as far back as Leclerc at the start of the weekend. It was quite the turn of events that Lucas Leclerc led the championship going into the finale. That Gianmarco Ercoli has stepped up to the top, and you can see the pride, the joy, the anticipation and the excitement on Gianmarco Ercoli.
It's important for me.
Whereas Luca Leclerc and Vittorio Garelli both look very disappointed. Leclerc, I think, though, seems to have accepted everything that happened in that race and is showing remarkable composure, given he lost it at such a late juncture in a race where it looked like the championship was open to him. Of course, given the unique circumstances of that race, the race podium looks very different. And Fabrizio Armetta looks very surprised that he's just invited himself onto the overall podium. You saw that shrug. He takes third. Liam Hasemans with the best dancing moves in Belgium. Oh, Armetta hasn't done this overall podium thing before, I don't think. A bit confusing for him. Liam Hasemans on the second step. And Tobias Downhauer on top for promotion, a second win of the season for promotion, and Downhauer, a really significant result for them as well. That is going to serve them in good stead for the rest of their tenure as a team. A first season that impressive, a young driver that impressive, and especially a victory on home turf. All massive selling points for any future partners. I think that the future of promotion and Downhauer could be very interesting in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series.
And
we now have the podiums, I think. The anthems, I think. Battle of the Champagne Bottles looks like it was won by Liam Hasemans. He does have some bartending experience. He should be good at popping corks. So huge congratulations again to Downhauer, of course, Hasemans. And Downhauer will be back up there momentarily to celebrate their championship in the juniors. Well, their championship results in the juniors. Of course, it's Hasemans that has won the junior trophy in his first season, so a second consecutive title-winning year. In the junior trophy. Oh, in fact, no, I'm just looking at the results. No, Tobias Downhauer. We were still waiting on confirmation of that. I'm just looking at the documentation that we've got. It looks like Downhauer has managed it. Yes, he has. Goodness me. Although that doesn't match the information. I'm not sure about that. I'm going to have to wait, hold fire on that one. Well, it seems as though Downhauer has one other thing to celebrate, and that, of course, is the fastest driver of the event. So he will receive a TJ titanium jewelry ring. will be presented by Marco Raggi. And this is the team of the event awards. This is Hendricks Motorsports number 50 crew. Although I think they've very kindly invited Martin Dubek up there as well from the number 7. Do I see Liam himself there? He's very well hidden. Yes, he is. He is in there somewhere. And just getting it verified and reconfirmed, Junior Trophy season podium does indeed go to Liam Hasemans. I thought the maths pointed in that direction. Despite Tobias Downhower's victory, it will be Liam Hasemans that wins the Junior Trophy. There's so many different championships being decided in one fell swoop. It's quite difficult to keep track of. But Liam Hasemans for the Junior Trophy season will be on the top step of that podium. But he did, of course, take the race win overall and the Junior Trophy race result in today's event. So another Junior Trophy win, and Tobias, again, I have to imagine that a good second season with experience under the belt for Downhower and promotion. I don't know if we're going to be talking Junior Trophy. I wonder if we're going to talk about championship contention overall for the 99 crew next year if that lineup remains as it currently is. Which of the many podiums is up next? It should be, just looking for it, I was expecting the team's championship season podium. However, it's the Junior Trophy podium that's coming up next to Tobias Downhower running up the stairs. I hope you guys clocked that as well. Tobias Downhower had gone downstairs back to his car and then got the word that, nope, you're not done yet, mate, and just ran up the stairs. Oh, Tobias, you don't need any more cardio. You just did a motor race. Claims the third step of the Junior Trophy race podium then. Second place will go to Liam Hasemans, and Tobias Downhower, who will be runner-up in the Junior Trophy Championship behind Liam, is on the top step at least for this race. But Liam Hasemans, just to reaffirm, will be the Junior Trophy champion. A second consecutive championship winning year for him, after, of course, his EuroNASCAR 2 success in 2022. Meanwhile, the Junior Trophy Teams Championship is ongoing. The podium, or rather the Junior Trophy Overall Championship, is ongoing. Liam Hasemans holds the trophy aloft and will be a champion in EuroNASCAR for the second consecutive season. Junior champ this year in Pro, EuroNASCAR 2 champ last year. He will, I believe, get the opportunity to go to the United States for the NASCAR Awards ceremony at the end of the year, at the conclusion of the Cup Series Championship, which of course is still very much ongoing at the moment. Still whittling away drivers in the playoffs there. We are crowning champions here, though, in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. If you're just joining us, it was Gianmarco Ercoli by a point who secured the overall title. Here, though, I think this is the team's championship podium. It was meant to be a bit earlier in the schedule, which was throwing me off a little bit, but there are our three team managers. RDV competition on the top step. I know how much that's going to mean to them.
And Rafael for the champion team captain.
RDV competition have worked very hard to get back up to that point. And this year, with the combined efforts of Paul Giuffreau and Frédéric Gabillon, they are team's champions. Just ahead of the number 54 crew from Cal Racing and the number 50 Hendricks Motorsport team. The combined efforts of Jill Linster and Liam Hazemans securing them third. Of course, it was Jimmy Ercoli and Alberto Nasca who managed to secure second for the 54 Cal Racing crew. A great season from both of them. Sadly, Nasca's season ending with a few different incidents that cost him ultimately, but I'm sure he'll come back fighting and swinging in the future. Challenger Trophy o'clock. This is the Challenger Trophy race podium. Fabrizio Armetta to the top step there. Thomas Tuffel, third step of the podium. Yevgen Sokolovsky, second place in the number 48 car. Great to see him back with us. He's done a part-time schedule this year. It'd be lovely to see Yevgen back on a more permanent basis in 2024. He's a wonderful gentleman. Runs an absolutely incredible supercar dealership in Germany. If you follow Yevgen on social media, you'll see some of the incredible machinery that he works around. But Fabrizio Armetta claiming the final race win in Challenger Trophy this year. Fabrizio Armetta claiming an overall podium in his final race of the weekend.
And that's the championship in the Challenger Trophy. Thank you, gents.
So then, one more podium. I promise, just one. The Challenger Trophy season podium will be up next. It'll be the same man on top, Fabrizio Armetta. Riccardo Romagnoli, the third place finisher in the Challenger Trophy this season. Second place to Thomas Tuffel. So the Club Motorsport with two drivers in the top three. Fabrizio Armetta was very impressive this season. We saw him lurking up towards overall battles on quite a few occasions. But an overall podium at the end of the season is a great reward for a driver who puts a lot of effort in. Tuffel, Armetta, And Romagnoli will take to the podium, although I'm not sure Ricciardo is there. Romagnoli might be getting changed, like Thomas Tuffel already has. There he is, I think. But the Challenger Trophy season podium being presented. And it will be, and Thomas Tuffel looked really happy. It's great to see as well. He's had a really good first season, both in Pro and EuroNASCAR 2, and we hope to see more of him. It's always nice to see the progression curve from first season drivers as they mature into the series. The ultimate progression curve, of course, from Paul Giuffreau. In just his second season in EuroNASCAR 2, he was the EuroNASCAR 2 champion. Fabrizio Armetta on the top step as your Challenger Trophy season champion. And of course, at the top of this long podium ceremony, we saw the most important podium of all, with Gianmarco Ercoli on the top step by a single point. Gianmarco Ercoli is your 2023 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series Pro champion. Congratulations to all of the champions. Liam Hazeman's winning the junior trophy, Fabrizio Armetta winning in Challenger, Paul Giuffreau, of course, the EuroNASCAR 2 champ. A word to Gordon Barnes, the Club Challenge champion as well. But the team with the most to celebrate today, the 54 Cal Racing crew and Jimmy Ercoli, your 2023 champions.
When you come to Kvadner, treat yourself to an experience you will remember. Enjoy the luxurious ambience. Experience superior service. Indulge in endless pleasures. The pearl of the tourism offer in the pearl of the Adriatic. Liburnia, Hotels and Villas.